What's up guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at the SmallRig Magic Fiz wireless follow focus system. Now, full transparency, they did send this out back in November of last year. So I've actually been using this for over 5 months. We've used it on commercial projects, a couple of short films, and also some YouTube videos. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, SmallRig offers different configurations that you can buy. The one they sent over is the 2-motor kit, which obviously comes with 2 motors. You also get a wireless hand wheel and hand grip controller with several accessories to be able to mount directly to your camera, as well as this really nice carrying case, which has extra room for other knickknacks. Now, the real magic, no pun intended, with the system is that this is a true wireless follow focus system. Let me explain. As you can see, there is a USB-C port, which you can power this through, but there's also something else that I've never seen before, and it has these Sony NPF battery plates that you can attach right here on the side. And when you do that, you're able to grab a battery, which by the way, it is not included. And now you hold down the power button, which is just the arrow down key. And as you can see, it powers on the unit. This is completely wireless, so there's no cables attached, which I think is really cool. This unit here, this wireless controller, has a built-in battery, which again makes it 100% wireless. And the way you turn it on is you hit record here, and then you can see both systems are on. So I'm gonna give you just a quick walkthrough, and then we'll mount this onto a camera so I can explain how all of this works. So both the focus motor and hand wheel controller feature an OLED display where you can quickly see things like the battery status, the motor you're controlling, the motor position, and also the voltage input from the power source. Now there's also 16 different channels to select from so you can get the best connectivity. So I have here my A7R5 with my SmallRig build, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the setup process and just how easy it is to get everything going. So again, have the wireless follow focus motor, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on here. Now, one thing I do like about this particular one is whatever clamping system that they are using right here on the bottom, it is super tough. One of the things I hate about other follow focus systems is as you start to use them, this starts to come apart. So it kind of separates, not this one here. This thing just locks into place. Now, as I showed you guys, you can power this completely wireless using an NPF battery. And I gotta tell you, I've used this before and it will get you easily a couple of hours of use with just that one single battery, or you can power it directly using a USB-C cable. So I have here a USB-C cable connected directly to my SmallRig battery. Got a Mondo tie up here to make sure that everything looks good. And then we're just going to plug it in just like that. Now we have power to the motor, and I'm gonna go ahead and just hold down the bottom arrow key to power it on. Now to calibrate the motor, again, very easy. This is why I like this system. It's just so intuitive. All you do is hold down the bottom arrow key. It has a little calibration screen. It begins to calibrate. Now, one of the cool things about the system that I really like is that if for whatever reason I lose power and let's say my V-mount battery dies, I don't have to recalibrate. It has a memory setting that is stored onto this and it just works right out of the box. So I love that. So here we go. I'm gonna show you how powerful this motor is. You can actually hear the torque as I spin this really fast. Watch. But let's say, battery dies, V-mount, here it goes, it's dead, okay? Swap out the V-mount battery, plug it back in, no problem. All I need to do is just turn it back on. So once it's on, no calibration needed. And I'll demo that again. So I go back to here, then to infinity, there. Now the hand wheel controller is very intuitive to use. For example, in the menu system, you can easily change the motor direction from forward to reverse. You can also invert the screen if you have it upside down. Now, if you're filming in a darker set, you have the ability to turn on an LED light with various color options. Now, this also has Bluetooth connectivity, so you can use the hand wheel controller to trigger your camera, which I find very useful. But even just using the controller, if I want to set a mark from point A to point B, all I need to do is push on mark, set the A and B points, and I'm done. Another cool feature is that both the motor and hand wheel screen display the motor position, giving you an indicator of where the motor is relative to the focus wheel. Now let's talk about the hand grip controller, which unlike the hand wheel, this doesn't have a built-in battery. You will need a Canon LP battery to power it, which unfortunately does not come with a kit. Now on the flip side, they do include several attachments to be able to mount the grip controller onto various rigs using a rosette or a NATO attachment, which is what I prefer because it makes it easier to mount to the side of a camera cage, giving it another point of contact. Now this setup right here is by far my favorite when I'm solo operating, just because it's so easy to pull focus. See, I can just do it right here. Now something that's really cool, if I want to strip this down even more, not have a V-mount battery or not even use the Sony NPF battery, I can actually power this motor using the battery that's inside, and again, will last you the whole entire day. Now, if we look at the hand grip controller, it has a USB-C output, and when I connect it directly to the motor, it will power it using the Canon LP battery. Now, the cool thing about this setup here is that it doesn't rely on channels anymore because it knows that it's connected to the controller. It basically just works without having to change any channel because now you're getting direct power and it's able to send that signal. So again, if I want to keep this even more stripped down, not have this V-mount battery on the back and just have the camera set up using something like this, this works awesome. Now, what if I want to control two motors? How do I set this up? Well, let me do a lens change first because as you can see, when I pull focus, the lens actually protrudes in and out. So no matter what focus motor I put in there, it's basically not gonna be able to align. So let's do a lens change and then I'll show you guys how the two motor setup works. So I went ahead and installed the two motors. We have our focus motor that we have here, and just for fun, I'm powering it using the Sony NPF battery, just so you can see how it works. And then on this side, we have our iris motor and we're powering it using a USB-C going to C to the SmallRig V-mount battery. So how do we control both motors with a hand grip? Well, you can't technically do it with just one. You need to kind of merge these two together. And how it works is actually pretty cool. It's almost like a transformer kit. There's a button release right here on the side of the hand grip, and all I need to do is push on this, and this comes apart. And when I do that, I'm gonna have to put this down, because on the bottom of the hand wheel controller, this also comes apart, and then I can just put both of these together, just like this. Now when I hit the record button, I can power this on, and then you'll notice it shows 1 and 2. So now, if I pull focus, or this is my iris actually, and I can actually pull focus now, using the focus wheel, just like I normally would if I wanted to, pull focus. I would use this wheel. And I can also mount a monitor to the side, which again, it comes with all those accessories with this kit. And now I'm able to control my focus and also my iris. So this setup right here is great. And again, if you only want to control one motor with it, you can actually just use this setup here and you can do it this way. Just because I know a lot of people prefer the whole entire like hand grip with the wheel controller mounted together. So you can do this and it works, flawlessly. So this is what I would say a first AC would use, would be a setup like this where they have control over the focus and the iris. Now, if you also wanted to do the zoom, then you would need to purchase an additional hand grip controller. And this is great if you're using, for example, a shoulder rig setup where you have two controllers and one of them controls your zoom, one of them controls either your iris or your focus, and then again, you can pull focus this way. So the combinations that you can use are pretty modular, and this is why I really like this kit. Now, to kind of sum things up, the SmallRig Magic Fiz follow focus system is amongst the best budget-friendly options available today. And trust me, I've tried everything under $1,000, including some of the more popular options like the Tilta Nano. It has no torque, it doesn't work that great. There's also other options like the Came TV, which starts at $279. You do get one motor. This isn't too bad, but I still find for $299, you can get the one motor option from SmallRig and it's gonna work better. This also competes with the Tilta Nucleus, which is considered more like pro level. That's gonna start at $699, which is basically the same price as this. The difference is you actually get two motors with the SmallRig versus one motor with the Tilta Nucleus. And I'd argue, trying both systems myself, that this offers way more features and the ease of use and functionality are actually better on this than the Nucleus M. I will say the Nucleus does look prettier and it looks nice, but I'd actually pick something like this that has better functionality, better features, better usability over something that looks pretty. With that being said, I think SmallRig did a really good job and I really like it. It's not perfect. There are some flaws, like I said, the battery system of using the Sony and Canon, I don't really like that. I wish I would have just stuck with one. Also, when you mount this on the side, I'll show you guys here, it actually becomes a little loose. So let me just loosen this up. So once I tighten this, you'll notice that like You see this little give here. Of course, you can keep tightening it, and I would recommend using like an Allen key to tighten it really hard. And it does somewhat stay into place, but depending on the size of your rig, if it's a little heavy, it does come loose. Like, again, it's not perfect. It does have some like minor things and annoyances, but I will say compared to everything that's out there for the money, I think this is still the best option available today. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. My name is Armando. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios.